Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my corner of the internet. My name is Jason, and today we're starting Bethesda Softworks' 2002 masterpiece, possibly one of my favorite games of all time. Actually, possibly my favorite game of all time, The Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind. There's a lot to say about this game, but I feel like sitting at the title screen discussing it is just going to drag things on and, we'll say, bore you. So let's go ahead and start the game, and then we'll go ahead and I'll discuss all the juicy bits that I want to talk about when we get into it. If you're not familiar with the Elder Scrolls, you may have been living under a rock, but it's an RPG. I figured I'd at least give you that. Let's start. Each event is preceded by prophecy, but without the hero, there is no event. In the waning years of the Third Era of Tamriel, a prisoner born on a certain day to uncertain parents was sent under guard without explanation to Morrowind, ignorant of the role he was to play in that nation's history. Interesting. We'll talk about that in a bit.
They have taken you from the Imperial City's prison, first by carriage and now by boat. To the east, to Morrowind. Fear not, for I am watchful. You have been chosen.
Many fall, but one remains.
Wake up. We're here. Why are you shaking? Are you okay? Wake up.
Actually, it might have said many fail.
Stand up. There you go. You were dreaming. What's your name?
Alright, so here we are in the middle of, we'll say, character creation. Since this is basically the third, we'll say, major part of my playthrough of the entire Elder Scrolls anthology, starting with Arena, then just recently finishing Daggerfall, and now playing Morrowind, using the same character, we are going to be recreating our character from the previous games that I've been playing. So we're going to go ahead and call our character Alexis, because that was her name, and I've never thought about a last name. You know what, we'll just put Alexis down, we'll start the game, and then maybe throughout the course of this, we will, uncover what her last name is. I don't know, we will see. Let's just start things, okay.
Well, not even last night's storm could wake you. I heard them say we've reached Morrowind. I'm sure they'll let us go. Quiet. Here comes the guard.
This is where you get off. Come with me.
Yes, sir. Now, here's where things are. It basically starts off with a tutorial. I'm not going to read the tutorial messages because they're mainly just for me, and they really have no bearing on your viewing, so we'll just skip past all that. I know how to play the game.
You better do what they say.
Sure thing, Giab. You have a good day. I don't know when you're going to get off the boat. He says, I'm sure they'll let us go, but I never see him again, and I never see him leave the ship, so sorry, buddy. I think you're probably stuck here. Alright, well, it wouldn't be a Morrowind playthrough if I didn't try to beat the guard up to the top of the stairs, or of the ramp, whatever. Yeah, there we go, I got in front of him. Because I'm good at this game. Totally. So, let's, head on.
Get yourself up on deck and let's keep this as civil as possible. Okay,
Touchy. What about you? What do you have to say?
The sooner you leave, the sooner we can move on.
Gotcha, so I'm being a burden, I'm being a bothersome to these people. It's actually kind of a shame that we can't do anything on this ship. I don't know if we ever see this ship again. I don't think we do. It's kind of, I don't know. We'll see. So we're leaving we're going up the hatch to Satanin. This is the starting town in Morrowind. Actually, it's more of a small, we'll say, port village thing. Taking that wonderful scenery. We'll talk a little bit more about, we'll say, the graphics and scenery in just a bit, but first let's go ahead and continue with character creation.
This is where they want you. Head down to the dock and I'll show you to the census office.
Alright, sure. Hey guy, how's it going?
You finally arrived, but our records don't show from where.
Alright, well, as I said, we are recreating our character from the previous games. So let's go ahead and switch over, let's say, change sex. Honestly, this is, we'll say, one of my first gripes with Morrowind. Morrowind may be my favorite game of all time, but my goodness, the graphics, we'll say the faces are, we'll keep that face. And if I recall correctly, Alexis had long hair. And there's not many options for that, but I think this is probably the closest we're gonna get. Yeah, I'm not crazy about the looks of it, but it'll have to do. It's not like we're gonna be staring at our own face for much of the game anyways. She is a dark elf and basically starts off with 2 specials. Ancestor Guardian. This is a result of choosing dark elf. Choosing the different race, the other races will give us different specials and different skill bonuses. It resets the hair. Good to know. Anyways, so we have resist fire, which means we're not going to be susceptible to fireballs or fire magic. 75%, that's a pretty major resistance. And Ancestor Guardian, which gives us the sanctuary spell for 50 points for 60 seconds, and I'll talk about that later. We're still in character creation. This is a lot of information to take in. We'll talk about all this stuff at a later time. Let's just get going.
Great. I'm sure you'll fit right in. Follow me up to the office and they'll finish your release.
Cool. Oh, yes. Oh, this is exciting. I've been waiting to play this for quite some time now.
Yes, we've been expecting you. You'll have to be recorded before you're officially released. There are a few ways we can do this, and the choice is yours.
Well, we're going to be recreating the same character, and so I'm going to go ahead and pick from a class list. We're going to go ahead and just pick Nightblade. Now, there are ways to, we'll say make a more effective or efficient character. You could go ahead and make a custom class, but that's not my goal with this whole playthrough. My whole playthrough is supposed to represent more of a casual playthrough in the game. Just sort of picking a class, playing through the game in a way, we'll say the developers intended, kind of just grab a class, play. The games are not hard, so hard to that they're not hard at all. So you don't really need to be min-maxing so much. I'd say, especially from Morrowind on, things tend to get quite a bit easier than they were in Arena and Daggerfall, but even then, those games weren't that difficult. Anyways, our specialization is in magic, favorite attributes, willpower, speed, and this is a list of our major skills and minor skills. Basically, yeah, like I said, we'll talk about these things as we use them a little bit more. So basically, we got a little bit of magic with some sneakiness. So basically, we are we'll say a sneaky mage or a magic-wielding thief, whichever way you want to view it.
Very good. The letter that preceded you mentioned you were born under a certain sign. And what would that be?
Now, I like this. You can sort of pick different little perks and choose sort of an advantage that you might have from the beginning. Like, for example, if you choose the mage, you can fortify your maximum magicka, which means you can have more, we'll say, energy for your spell pool. But you know what? What I'm going to do, basically because I'm still kind of trying to roleplay the character that we started in the previous 2 games, I'm going to go ahead and pick the Shadow. And the reason being is you get an invisibility for 60 seconds on self. It's an ability called Moon Shadow. Now, this basically can be cast once every, I believe it's 24 or 72 hours. I can't remember exactly. But it's an oh crap button. So if I'm under attack from something and I need to escape, I can use this to get myself out of trouble. And I feel like that really suits the character that we're playing. And besides, like I said, there might be more, we'll say, better options to pick. But actually, that's pretty... Okay, that actually could be kind of neat. If that's a constant effect, that's actually kind of cool. We'll talk about Sanctuary and stuff a little bit later. Actually, no, right now. Sanctuary, if I recall correctly, is an effect that makes it so that you just can't be hit. So if you have a Sanctuary 10 points, if I'm remembering correctly, you basically have a 10% chance on every hit to not be hit, have no damage, have no effect on you. So if you can get, we'll say, 100 points of Sanctuary, you're basically invincible. So that's actually not a bad ability, but we're going to go ahead with the Shadow.
Interesting. Now, before I stamp these papers, make sure this information is correct.
That looks about right. Alexis, Dark Elf, Nightblade, and the Shadow is our sign.
Show your papers to the captain when you exit to get your release fee.
Now, why does he say release fee? Like, is it basically like the terms of my release? Like, we're letting you go, but you have to do this.
Off the table and go see Captain Gravius.
I've never taken so long to grab the papers before. I didn't know he got a little impatient. Fine. Calm down, buddy. We're good? Okay, I'm leaving now.
Continue through to the next building and talk to Celes Gravius.
All right, are you going to get upset with me too if I stand around? I think he is. Anyways, now the game's starting to open up a little bit more to us. We're still basically in the tutorial phase, but now we can, at this point here, we're kind of, our choices kind of matter. We can kind of do what we want here. Because we are playing a sneaky thief type character, I figured we would go ahead and, you know, loot what we can. Now, with the exception of, we'll say, these bags that I'm grabbing from right now, I think I'm going to be playing as a bit more of a selective thief. I'm not going to just, you know, I'm not going total kleptomaniac and just grabbing everything that's not bolted down. You know, I'm going to be looking, picking my targets carefully and going for things that I feel, you know, have value. Like this dagger, for instance. There's a nice iron dagger stuck in the table, and I feel like we can make use of that. So let's go ahead and grab that, and we can go ahead and equip that by dropping it on our person. Check that action out. We are already a pro at this game. Let's see, a note to Hriskar. What does this say? Hriskar, don't think I've forgotten our wager. I want this dagger sharp as a scamp's claw by morning. Gensiel. Gensiel? I think those are E's. Yes, they are E's. The font in this game, in Morrowind, is, the C's and the E's can look very similar. So basically, somebody, had a bet, I guess, and, Hriskar lost. So he lost his money, and he basically needed to go ahead and leave, he needed, to, we'll say, sharpen a dagger. Alright, well, let's go ahead and grab some food, because food's a good thing to have, as well as some Flynn. Now, if I'm recalling correctly, Flynn is more of, we'll say, like I'm guessing like an alcoholic beverage. I'm not too sure. It is a beverage of some sort, but with a value of 100 and being a potion, which we've established Alexis is kind of, we'll say, addicted to, she kind of likes. We're going to go ahead and grab the... Oh, yeah, this regional liquor acts like a potion. To drink potions, equip them in the inventory screen. Awesome. Grab some crab meat, and why not? Let's grab a lockpick that was just left on the table. So, we're basically just going ahead and we're gonna go ahead and grab some things here, like this book, The Firmament. I will not be reading books within the playthrough. I'm going to actually start a separate series that goes alongside this playthrough, where I basically just sit down and read the book. So any books that we do get, I will be putting down on a list, and then I will be reading them in separate videos, just to keep them sort of separate from the main playthrough. Silverware pitcher, value of 30. You know, that's not too shabby. We can go ahead and there's some value to that. We can grab that. And silverware bowl, sure. These ones we value 5. Value 2. We'll leave them be. But let's go ahead and pick this this lock. Oh wow! First try. We are pro at this. 31. So we've gone ahead and we've you know, robbed a few things. Now I'm sure they know that we're the one responsible for that. You know, when they walk into that room next, they're going to be going, "Where the heck did all our stuff go?" And they're like, "Well, there's only one other person that went through that hallway." And they're like, "Oh, Alexis." It starts already. So let's see, in this barrel we have a pitcher, a gold piece, and an engraved ring of healing. This here, I think, is one of the most helpful, we'll say, yeah, one of the most helpful items early game. So we're going to definitely take that. And you now have a magic menu where you can see all your power spells and magic items. Like, oh yeah, I said I wasn't going to read that. All right, we're almost done with the character creation, or we'll say the intro tutorial section. Let's just go ahead and talk to Mr. Celis Gravius. I've heard a lot about you.
Your papers, please.
There you go. First, let me take your identification papers. Thank you. Word of your arrival only reached me yesterday. I am Celis Gravius, but my background is not important. I'm here to welcome you to Morrowind. Thanks, Celis Gravius. It's good to be here. Can you tell me more about Morrowind? Yes, you're in Morrowind. Really? I don't know why you're here, neither do I, or why you were released from prison and shipped here, but your authorization comes directly from Emperor Uriel Septim VII, we'll say the 7th, himself, and I don't need to know any more than that. When you leave this office, you are a free man. But I'm not a man. But before you go, I have instructions on your duties. Instructions from the Emperor, so pay careful attention. So am I really free? It's like you're free on the condition that you complete these duties. Can you tell me about the Emperor? I've worked with him in 2 games prior to this, but my memory's a little fuzzy. Oh, I accidentally clicked on Morrowind. Yes, Uriel Septim is still the Emperor. According to my instructions, he personally authorized your release from prison and your delivery here. It's all very mysterious, but that's the way the Empire works. Silence, secrecy. Let not the left hand know what the right hand is doing. Ah, that sounds efficient. Can you tell me about the Empire? And I'm going ahead and I'm going to take my time through the game, so we're going to be going ahead and looking at all the dialogue options. I will not be rereading something, obviously, if I've already read it before, but we're getting acquainted here with the world, and I'm really going to take my time through this game here. Yes, of course, this is the Empire. This is Vardenfell district of the province of Morrowind. So basically, Morrowind is like this big, we'll say it's a province, but there's a large chunk of it that's sort of an island. It's about the size of the rest of the province as well, so it's a really big island. So the game of Morrowind takes place on that giant island of Vardenfell. District, and Morrowind has been part of the Empire for over 400 years. The current emperor is Uriel Septim, 27th of the Septim line. You haven't been in prison that long, have you? Sorry, my brain's a little bit frazzled here. Nothing wrong with your head, is there? The men said you were acting a little strange when they brought you in from the ship. All right, I think we've talked enough. Let's go ahead and get our duties. This package came with the news of your arrival. You are to take it to Chaos Cosades in the town of Balmora. Go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for Chaos Cosades. They'll know where to find him. Serve him as you would serve the Emperor himself. I also have a letter for you and a dispersal to your name. I don't know what that means. I'm guessing that means they're giving me some money. I don't know. So basically, we've been given some directions to Chaos Cosades, and a package for Chaos Cosades, and some money. Well, can you tell us about this Chaos guy? Report to Chaos Cosades in Balmora. I can't tell you where to find him, but you are to go to the South Wall Corner Club and ask for him. Someone there can direct you to him. And what's Balmora? Balmora is north of Sedanin. That's the town we're currently in. The road passes Pelagiad village and Fort Pelagiad. Pelagiad? I don't know how to... I might be mispronouncing that. Most of the time I've played Morrowind, it's been silently. I don't normally say it out loud. Crosses a deep ravine, passes Fort Moonmoth, then turns west across the Odai River and into Balmora. Now, you get ready for a lot of this. Morrowind basically gives you directions everywhere. And I love that about this game. I love that it gives you these directions, and it plays more like real life in a way. You know, if you need directions somewhere, you don't follow some little map marker or something. It's like, hey, get directions and go. I like that. The South Wall Corner Club is in southeast Balmora, so in the southeast part of Balmora on the east side of the river. For more detailed directions, talk to Elone the Scout. Elone the Scout at Ariel's Trade House here in Sedanin. Oh. But take my advice. You're new here. Take the Silt Strider to Balmora. Fast, cheap, safe. Cross the bridge and head east. Can't miss it. The Silt Strider is the fast travel option in Morrowind. But for the sake of, we'll say, completion, and for really, we'll say digesting what the world has to offer, let's click on Silt Strider and get his description of what it is. You know, just in case there's somebody who has not played Morrowind, someone who's curious about Morrowind, you know, all this information would be really helpful for them, I think. Silt Striders carry passengers and cargo between settlements on Vardenfell. Fares depend on distance to be traveled. Silt Striders are giant insects. A compartment for passengers and cargo is hollowed from the creature's shell. The driver directs the beast by directly manipulating exposed organs and tissues. Oh, you know, I don't think I've ever read this before. That's cool. So basically, it's like you're hacking the creature to move its legs for you. Oh, that's actually kind of sick in a twisted kind of way. Silt Striders travel between Aldrun, Balmora, Sedanin, Suran, Gnissus, Molag Mar, Margan, and North Landing near Vivek. Oh man, I gotta read more of this here. I'll explain a little bit about, we'll say, my history with Morrowind, so you can understand some of this a little bit better here. But basically, we're done. I think we've read everything except for his trade. Can we skip it? No. Wait, what is your trade? I am a knight-errant of the Order of Ebonheart, and an Imperial emissary attached to the Census and Excise Office here in Sedanin. Imperial? I'm proud to be an Imperial. Through our legions and rule of law, we've brought peace and civilization to the provinces of Tamriel and the Numidium. At least according to my, timeline. Anyways. Goodbye. We're done. We're gonna walk out this door, and we are now a free man, even though we're a woman. And the game has officially started. Exciting. We're gonna go ahead and save this as start, as I like to do. Alright, so now we can kind of go ahead and do what we want. This is an open world game, and the map is very large. We got a lot of stuff here, and I like that it's because we took the time to go ahead and talk, ask for directions and such. Actually, I put it on our map. I don't remember it doing that before. I wonder if that's a case of some of the mods, or well, I don't know. I haven't really modded it. Let's talk about what mods I'm running. Basically, I am running not really any. I've installed the unofficial Morrowind. The unofficial
Sun and Sky Outlander, we greet you warmly.
Oh, good to see you too. I've gone ahead and I've installed the unofficial Morrowind patch, and I believe it is version 1.6.2. Now, the Morrowind patch project goes a little bit beyond that. However, I opted not to use the latest version because it actually makes changes to the game itself and to the actual spirit of the game. It changes dialogue. It actually removes some spells. Basically, it goes a little bit farther than just bug fixing and tries to correct things based off of what they feel the developers intended. So I didn't really like that, so I decided not to run the, we'll say, the latest version of that. I'm using, like I said, the unofficial Morrowind patch. That's what it was referred to. In addition to that, Bethesda also released, when they first launched Morrowind, they released a number of official plugins. Basically, it was free DLC at launch, and that adds things to the game. And strangely enough, I'm not sure if it's loaded in. Anyways, I've gone ahead and I have, we'll say, enabled those. So I've got the sort of the free DLC going. We've got both expansion packs enabled, and I'm also running the Morrowind code patch with the default options. And this goes ahead and it fixes some things that were not able to be done with the normal plugin, such as putting crouch on a toggle. But I feel like the game's essence has still been preserved. As far as, we'll say, the gameplay goes, it's mostly all bug fixes, with the exception of what I'm about to do here. I've thought long and hard about what I wanted to do, we'll say, as far as graphical mods go, and I was originally going to play through this game completely vanilla. Basically, what we saw, I was going to use the Morrowind graphics extender to give the game widescreen support, which I'm sure you noticed right from the start. But you know, I was playing around with it, and you have my wife to thank, who was basically like, I'd rather watch it like that. So we're gonna be playing with, we'll say, some distant land, with some, we'll say, enhanced shaders and stuff with reflections, some different lighting and shading and stuff like that. We're gonna go ahead and be playing it like this. All the meshes and all the textures will be the same, but we'll play it with a little bit more fancied up. So that's going to be the one sort of mod, the one not true to the core or the original game that we're going to be doing. But anyways, I've been wandering around for just talking, we'll say, as an introduction for way too long. Let's go ahead and actually get started with the game itself. What is our objective? What do we want to do? Well, first things first, when we walked out, we saw this guy here, Fargoth.
This better be important.
Oh, it's important. So we're going to go ahead and talk to Fargoth. Fargoth, how are you doing today?
Are you the one the boat dropped off? Odd to see a boat arrive at that time of day. Hope the Imperials treated you okay. I swear they took my ring.
They took your ring?
I swear one of the guards has it. I had it last week before their weekly Let's Shake Down Fargoth ritual. An engraved healing ring. Family heirloom of mine. You haven't seen it, have you?
You know, I was mentioning that healing ring that we had earlier. You know, we'll say a more principled character, I would actually be like, hey, yeah, sure, you know what, you can have the ring. But I'm feeling a little bit more, we'll say, unprincipled. So you know what I'm going to go ahead and do? I'm going to go ahead and keep it. And normally, every other playthrough I always do, I'm always like, here you go, yeah, because you do get a benefit from going ahead and giving him the ring. But you know what? I'm going to be playing in character, and Alexis is going to deny ever seeing the ring. No, sorry, no ring.
Darn. Well, if you see it, let me know. It's an engraved ring of healing. I know it's in there somewhere.
Good to know. I'll keep an eye out for it. Thanks, there. Thanks for the information there, Fargoth. So, now that we've talked to Fargoth and we've lied to his face, let's go ahead to Eril's trade house. Apparently, we can go talk to someone named Elone there, Elone, and get some directions. We'll say, or some more exact directions. Not that I really need them. Honestly, I just want to talk to Eril.
She's gone too far. I'll see her disgraced before the council. Yes.
Thinking out loud a little bit. Let's go ahead and talk to him. Let's get some supplies. Because right now, as you can see, we basically just got some clothing. I would like to get a little bit of armor. Now, we don't have a whole lot of gold. We got 119. I don't even know if we can afford some gold. Normally I rely on getting some, we'll say, some better disposition here with him, but like I said, our playing in character has probably hurt us a little bit. Then again, we can go ahead and sell some stuff. That's an option. You know what? Let's go ahead. But then again, how are we going to improve our alchemy skills if we're not eating every ingredient we see? Okay, you know what? I feel like I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just sell the stuff. We'll talk about alchemy and all that stuff a little bit later. But basically, each one of these ingredients can be used in alchemy, and each one of these question marks represents an effect. Now, we don't know the effects because our alchemy skill is too poor. So, let's go ahead and just, we'll go ahead and sell these items. So I do that by just sort of clicking on them, and they'll jump over to the window next to me here. Grave dust, sure, whatever, heather, whatever. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I want the Bungler's Bane. There's a reason for this. And the Haifa fascia. And Scrib Jelly, Scrib Jerky, small Kwama eggs, stone flower petals, we'll sell those as well, Trauma Root, and Willow Ether, as well as these pitchers, the silverware bowl, and the silverware pitcher. I don't need a basket either. All right, I'm going to be hanging on to these two, we'll say, mushrooms that I picked off the tree. We will be needing those for a quest a little bit later on. And for those of you who have played Morrowind, I guess you kind of, or who have played Morrowind, you know that I'm talking about our eventual joining of the Mages Guild. I'm going to go ahead and try to sweet talk a little bit. I'm going to try to, right now it's showing here that I will get 114 gold for this, but I want a little bit more than that. Let's see if I can at least get 120. There we go. Awesome. So that's kind of how the barter system works in this game. You kind of put whatever's on the table, and then you can sort of put up and down. You can sort of, we'll say, adjust the cost. I wonder if I could go total sold. Just give me gold. Just give it to me. No, okay. It was worth a try. So let's go ahead and grab some armor. We'll grab us, there's no greaves in here, is there? No. We'll grab the boots, both gauntlets and the pauldrons, and that puts us at, what, 112, 112 drakes. I'm going to go actually bring that down to maybe 105. Will you take that offer? No. What about 107? All right, we've got a deal. Now, you can keep going ahead and mashing the try button. Every time you go ahead and you hit offer, and even if it's rejected, you can keep hitting it, and there's a chance that it will succeed. However, that will impact your reputation with the guy, or with whoever it is you're speaking to. In this case here, it's at 46 out of 100, which means he probably dislikes us more than he actually likes us. But hey, we're a customer, so he's gonna go ahead and, we'll say, deal with us. And you know what? I'm sorry, I didn't even read his intro here. Welcome to Errol's Trade House. I barter for goods or coin. I also have a small selection of spells for sale. No credit. You want a little advice? That's free. That's all that's free. Would you like to hear about our most popular potions or our most popular scrolls? I threw another word in there. Forgive me. Anyways, we got our armor. You know what? Let's get a little bit of advice. I feel like maybe we'll take our time, really explore Satanin before we go off an adventure. So I don't think we're going to be going anywhere, we'll say, really interesting in today's episode, but we will be getting acquainted with Satanin and the people here. Yeah, what's a little advice? If you want to live to a ripe old age, buy a weapon and as much armor as you can wear and still run from trouble. Buy a spell or two and practice your skills. Don't practice on citizens. We call that foul murder, and we don't like it. But you can kill smugglers and bandits and other outlaws all you like. Outlaws have no rights. Plenty of adventurers make a living from killing and looting outlaws. That smuggler scum down in Adamasartus, for instance, the cave down near the Siltstrider platform. I love that. There's a cave where they're like, oh, we know there's smugglers down there, but nobody does anything about it. What about practicing our skills? Practice on creatures and outlaws and anyone who attacks you first. When in doubt, run away. And if you attack a citizen by accident, don't kill him. Turn yourself into a guard, pay your fine, and clear your name, or people will treat you like an outlaw. Good to know. I'm not going to bother talking about popular potions or scrolls. Actually, wait, potions? No, that's in character. Alexis wants to know about potions. Cure common disease and cure blight disease potions are most popular with travelers. Yeah, we will be needing some of those. Fortify strength, endurance, speed, agility are very helpful in combat. Fortified personality is popular with merchants and shy persons. So if we're feeling a little bit shy, we just take a little bit of our fortified personality, also known as alcohol, and then we open right up. Of course, fortified fatigue keeps you fighting at your best. Restore health and restore fatigue are perhaps our most popular items. And for a short burst of power during a fight, you can't beat Grief, Shane, Flynn, Mats, and Sujama. All of which I believe I've already sold to you. All right. Yeah, let's go ahead and look at the scrolls. Why not? Let's do it. Vigor and Vitality are our best-selling bargain items, restoring fatigue and health, respectively. Almzivi? Man, like I said, I've played this before so much, and yet it's always been quiet. You know, I've never had to say these things out loud. Almzivi, Intervention, and Divine Intervention transport you instantly to the nearest temple or nearest Imperial Shrine. Good for routine or emergency transportation. Heartwise helps with persuasion. Summon skeletal minion. I think that one's kind of self-explanatory, but whatever. Brings help in a jiffy. And Drathis Winter Guest does a lot of damage at a touch. Handy to whittle a too tough opponent down to size. Cool. You know what? Actually, I didn't even take a look at what spells we currently have. Now, he went ahead and he mentioned some smugglers, and you know what? I would like to maybe, just maybe, have a little bit of action in this episode. So I'm wondering if we can go ahead and throw this armor on. Holy cow, that is loud. Throw this armor on and maybe deal with some of those smugglers they were talking about. Do you have a better weapon, though? Because right now I'm using a, let's see, an iron dagger that does between 4 to 5 damage, but 5 to 5 with a thrust. Let me see here. Another iron dagger. Do we have any of the small blades, short blades? An iron tanto. An iron tanto would do good. It would do good. It would do well for us. Dagger. It's probably the best weapon that we have here. A short sword. There we go. We'll grab an iron short sword because it is considered a short blade, which means we have some proficiency with it. I'll pay you 18 gold for it. Sweet. Now for this playthrough, I'm kind of hoping to be able to talk my way through a lot of stuff. You know, combat's obviously a thing, but you know, I'd like to be able to chit-chat my way through some things. So here we have our blade. We are armed, we're armored, and we have a quest to go to Balmora, but you know, we're not going to do that yet. I feel like there's still some wealth to be had.
Let's hear it.
I don't know, maybe Alexis is sort of aching for a little bit of action. She's been in prison for a little while. She needs to sort of stretch those muscles. So, Buddy said that the cave was, I believe it was over here, Adamasus. I'm sorry, I can't remember what the... it was one of those names that you kind of glance at. And I tend to do that a lot. I'll glance at a name and just sort of get the general idea, but if you ask me to, if you show me another word that's very similar to it, I'll probably say that they're the same word. I gotta work on that. So this is, I believe this is what he was referring to. This is the Smugglers Cave that's nearby. Let's actually read it. Adamasartus. So I figured we'd go in here and get our rear end kicked because what I've actually done, there is a difficulty setting in Morrowind, and I currently have it set to 20. Now, when I'm playing on my own, I like to be kind of a little bit more hard on myself, put it at like 50 or 100, and then just die over and over again because, hey, I don't know, for some reason that's fun to me. But, you know, for the sake of this playthrough, we're going to go ahead and, 1, quick save before we enter, and 2, we're going to, okay, so I'm still sneaking, cool. We're going to go ahead and have it on 20, so maybe it's a little bit more challenging. Now, I wanted to look at the spells, right? We have Chameleon, we have Detect Creature, we have Firebite, Sanctuary, Shield, and Water Walking. Now, Chameleon, basically, let's see, Chameleon 10%. So basically, for 30 seconds, we're a little bit harder to see. We're not invisible, but we're a little bit harder to see. Detect Creatures means that up on this top map, if there are creatures nearby, we will be able to see them. Now, this is detecting an animal. Morrowind makes a distinction between humanoids and animals. So if I want to, we'll see, detect if there's an animal nearby, I use this. Firebite are basically close range fire spell. We can use this to go ahead and burn someone with, you know, the touch of our hand. Sanctuary. We talked about Sanctuary a little bit earlier. Shield. 5 points. I believe this increases your armor by 5 points for 30 seconds. It's not like it was in Arena and Daggerfall where it acts as sort of a damage reduction system, or like a straight up. It's not like a secondary health bar like it was in the previous games. And then there's water walking, so we can go ahead and walk on water. I think we're gonna go ahead and confront this this smuggler. So to do so, we're gonna go ahead and start things off with shield, just because I want to be able to survive this. I want to be able to survive this encounter, and I know that. Here she comes. So shield is on, and what I want to focus on doing is, dang, maybe I should have put it on 50. Maybe 20 is too low. I guess this was designed to be a really, we'll say, easy opponent. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go ahead and loot the villain. We'll give her we'll say, the decency of letting her keep her clothes here, but if I do see some armor that is better than what I've got, then I might go ahead and nab it. Let's see, armor rating, no. So that's definitely not as good as what I have here. So, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and clear out this sort of this cave. And like I said, I got the impression that this is meant to be sort of that, we'll say beginner area, whereas let's ease the player in. Bellows, bucket, not really worthwhile for stealing. So let's go ahead and sneak on through the old gate and see what lies beyond here. Now, you know what? I'm wondering if I can go ahead and lower the gamma. I wonder if that'll even come through with the recording. I like to keep my brightness a little bit lower because I find that caves and dungeons are just too bright. One thing I liked about Arena was that everything seemed very dark, and the light spells actually had a purpose. Oh, what do we have over here? An old gate. Well, we have the key, so let's open things up. What are you guys doing in here? Let's go ahead and talk to this Khajiit.
Khajiit has no words for you.
Oh, okay. Then I'll go talk to your Argonian friend over here.
Summoned by another. Questions again.
I don't know what you mean by that. Do you have the key to these bracers? Will you let me go free? Oh, so we're looking at slaves. Now, Alexis as a character, she's a thief. She'll take, whatever she wants. Items don't belong to anybody. However, life is a little bit more on the precious side, and she does not agree with slavery. So, yes, you may go free, because I have the key. So we're going to go ahead and unlock the slave's bracers. Yes, now I am free. Thank you, Alexis. I'm amazed that you know my name. I didn't give it to you, but we can go ahead and assume. We can go, sort of fill in the blanks. Alexis was like, "Hey, my name's Alexis, and I'm taking these things off you." Now, once you go ahead and remove these braces, they have these enchanted bracers.
We are.
Yes. They have these enchanted bracers on them, and darn it, they're standing right over top of them. Can you move, please? I'm trying to pick up. I'm trying to pick up the bracers. Basically, you can.
Scent is here. Who can it be?
Basically, you can try to pick up the bracers when they're not standing on top of them. This is really, really strange. Normally, I don't have a problem with picking up their bracers, but basically, it's like an enchanted bracer, which basically, supposedly keeps them put. It's sort of their shackle. They don't need chains to hold them down or anything like that. They just have these bracers. But you know what? I guess we can't pick those up and sell them for whatever little bit of money they're worth. So let's go ahead and journey down this way. Let's see. Now, if we look down there, we see there is a mage, and he's going to want to basically throw some spells at us. Here comes the first exploit of Morrowind. I'm going to try to sneak down, but he's going to see me because we're still at the beginning of the game, and our sneak is not the best. I don't even know if we haven't even made any progress to improving our sneak because we've done so terribly. In Morrowind, and unlike the Elder Scrolls games that follow, you actually, I'm not sure if it's that case in the future games. You only increase your skills and your abilities by successfully using the skills. So basically, if you fail to use sneak, you learn nothing, and you basically. Dang, I'm actually wondering here. I'm curious if I can get over there and maybe backstab him. He's not looking at me. We're gonna go ahead and quick save. Oh yes, yes, yes. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Don't turn around. Yeah. No, don't let him get the spell off. Sweet. All right, now she's throwing like ninja stars at us. And she's still throwing ninja stars at us. Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and cast my shield on me again. Ow. And then we're gonna go ahead and fight her straight up. Now. Oh, come on. Come on. There we go. Stupid. I love the way stupid is spelt. It's spelt with the two O's. So there we go. We've basically cleared out this Smugglers Cave. And we've gone ahead and, well, we've got some stuff to loot here. Now there's a common robe. It's not really worth anything. So there's nothing really, we'll say, of worth on him. What about you? Do you have anything worth? An apprentice lockpick and probe. So in this game, when you want to go ahead and open, like, let's say, a locked door or a locked chest, you want to have a lockpick. Now, some of these items can be trapped. And that is where the probe comes in. You can go ahead and use these probes to sort of disarm the traps. So basically, if you're going to be wanting to break into things, especially things, we'll say, owned by a mage previously, you're going to want to hang on to a probe. So we'll be keeping a supply of lockpicks and probes on our person for this game here. Cloth left bracer. I don't really think that's worth taking, but I will take these throwing stars. Now, I think there's only, what, 5 of them? But we'll hang on to them because we can go ahead and make use of them. Anything inside the crate? Ah, moon sugar. Gold and and 2 petty soul gems. Now, moon sugar is basically an illegal substance in Morrowind. Moon sugar is used to create skooma, which we'll probably find somewhere else in this cave. If you try to talk to, we'll say, a standard seller, you know, Ariel, for example, at the trade house with moon sugar, he will not deal with you because you have like an illegal substance. It's like having crack in your pocket. So we'll take this. It's got value, but we'll have to find someone special to sell it to, or we can hang on to it. Maybe Alexis will develop a moon sugar skooma addiction. I think that'll be an interesting and dark path to take this character. All right, what else do they have lying around? We have a chest with a spear. We're not going to be using spears, so we'll go ahead and leave that as is, and let's go ahead and just grab some gold. We had 7 pieces of gold lying around, and I really like that. I love the detail. They've got little things like just sort of laying around, and I realize I'm leaving a lot of money to sort of out there. You know, there's this bowl here. It's got a value of 8. I could take this and sell this, but at a weight of 3, nah, that's all right. Like I said, Alexis is, ooh, more moon sugar. Alexis is going to be a little bit more, we'll say, discerning with what she steals. For example, an expensive shirt. Yeah, I'll take that. Heck, I'll wear that. Alexis likes the finer things in life. So basically a lot of ingredients, and like I said, those will come into, there's the skooma I was talking about. 500. That's each, or is that just one? Yeah, each is 500. Now, I've deliberately, you know, it might be kind of confusing that I'm like, I don't know how this works. Even though, you know, I've stated this is like my favorite game of all time, and I have spent, I'm gonna say hundreds. I'm not sure exactly the count. I played this back in the day, you know, before I kept track of your playtime. So I feel like it's been, it was hundreds of hours. And yet not know things. Well, I've deliberately not played the game for a while because I wanted things to feel fresh. Old gate. I've got the key to go ahead and make my way through here. I don't remember if there's any other enemies. I don't think there's any more enemies in this cave, but we will see. So anyways, I deliberately stopped playing the game just because I wanted things to be fresh. Actually, I stopped playing a little bit before I got the anthology, and then after I got the anthology, I kind of just sort of set it in stone. I'm like, I am not going to play Morrowind at all, because when I get to it, I want things to feel really fresh. I want to have sort of that sense of discovery again. So that's one reason. Another reason is, despite the fact of me playing the game so much, I actually never completed the main story, and actually didn't complete a lot of the game because I actually just had fun running around exploring the game world. That's right, I spent hundreds of hours just playing with the game mechanics and just kind of just doing whatever I felt like doing. So, you know, maybe my experience is not we'll say the equivalent to somebody else who has spent the same amount of time. Anyways, I noticed something when I was up, where was that? Where is that? There it is, down there. There it looks like there's a standard Rising Force potion and the skull. Alright, let's swim back up to the top. So there's a Rising Force potion, which I didn't even bother taking a look at what it did. Bad, Jason. Rising Force potion, we don't know. It's not identified. Based on the name, I'm gonna go ahead and assume that maybe it's a levitation spell, but we don't know. I like that, actually. I really like that, I just don't know. You know, the label says Rising, you know, the label on the potion says Rising Force, but we don't know actually what the potion does. I'm sorry, I'm looking around the cave here. I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything lying around, any other little details, because I know that there's a lot of little fun little details and things that have been sort of scattered around the game world, and I wanted to make sure I didn't miss anything. But yeah, I really like that just getting the potion, we have a label to go by, but we don't. Whoa! I forgot about the rat! How did I forget about the rat? Come on, Jason. It's the start of an RPG. It's gotta have a rat. Of course it does. Go ahead and grab some rat meat. And, jump our way up here. Alright, and what have we got here? We've got a Netch leather left pauldron. Yeah, it's got some value. Let's go ahead and take it. Along with the gold here. So we have some skeletal remains. I don't know whose that belonged to, but they've probably been dead for quite some time now. Anything inside the stump? No, nothing there. We'll go ahead and gather up some mushrooms, because you know, we will want ingredients for alchemy and stuff later in the game. And all the items that you get, all the like, for example, when you loot, we'll say a mushroom cap, for example, and you got some mushroom, those will respawn after some time in game. I can't remember the exact amount of time, but they do eventually respawn, so you can go back and harvest from them again and again. Let's see, what else have we got here? Oh, here's the other pauldron. And we have a torch? Yeah, it's an unlit torch. Let's take the torch. I wonder if I were to equip the torch now, would it be lit? Let's try it. Yes, it is. We've lit our torch with what I don't know, but it'll help us see. You know, as bright as the game is, adding a little bit of light can help maybe contrast things a little bit better, and it might help finding maybe little things. Make it a little bit easier. Sorry, I got turned around a little bit there. All right, let's go. Let's jump on up and continue working our way through this small little the Smugglers Cave. I'm pretty sure that was it, though, as far as we'll say threats and loot. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Okay, and it looks like it's gone ahead and looped us back to the entrance again. So that was sort of our first, we'll say, mini dungeon in Morrowind. We went ahead and we created our character. We had a little bit of action, and now we are yeah, we're good. We got some stuff we can go ahead and sell, and it is sunset. Exciting. Oh, that looks so cool. Okay, yeah, no regrets. I've got no regrets of playing this slightly modded. Anyways, unfortunately, though, my time for this, we'll say for this episode is done. I'm really excited to dive more into Morrowind, and I think it kind of showed, because I think I was all over the place with my commentary, so I apologize about that. I'll be focusing on maybe looking at each individual element of the game in a little bit more detail, going forward and all that. Oh, that looks beautiful. I love that. You know, I'll try to slow things down a little bit more, but I really wanted to sort of cram in as much as I could in this first episode with as little, with my limited time. So I hope it was enjoyable to you. I'm really excited to really dive into this game. Yeah, this is going to be a good time. If you like the video, you like the content, and you want to see more of it, go ahead and give the video a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, go ahead and give the video a thumbs down. Either way, let me know what you thought in the comment section. And until next time, I would like to ask you all to game on.